Hello guys, it's your boy UJard, back again with another video. Again with that top lane commentary. This time I'm going to be playing full AP Tryndamere. I'm getting some Malphite. It's one of his toughest matchups, but the good thing about Tryndamere is that he can sustain a lot of his poke. And he's not that reliant on basic attacks, so it's going to be a little bit of an easier matchup for me. Right now I just want to shove this wave and try to pressure him under tower. Try and get level 2 before him so I can make a play on him. Oh, I didn't level up. I have my Conqueror up, so he has to flash probably. Nope. It did not flash. I'll shove this under and look toward. Pushing the first 2 waves under the tower with Tryndamere is really good. And this is the perfect time for me to ward. Because Wukong might actually be wanting to gank at the 3-minute mark. Now we just play passive, let him push into me. This wave is actually pushing into me. So yeah, play passive and let him shove. Once it's frozen at around this, I might go for an all-in. So now we chill. Whoops. I missed a lot of basic attacks there. I don't want him in a gank right now. I really don't want him to gank right now. I want this frozen as much as possible. I might have to thin out the wave so he just doesn't shove it under my tower. Wukong wants to make a play on me right now. I might play passive. I really don't want him to shove this under my tower, but I'm gonna have to let him do it because the Wukong is pressuring me there. Okay. Now I'm just gonna start a slow push so I can go back and start buying some items. The reason why we slow push is that I'm not gonna be able to push this fast enough before the next minion wave arrives. And if I try to fast push it, I'm gonna be in a bad spot. I'm gonna have to push the last minion wave over here, and I'm gonna be easily gankable. Now that the other minion wave is here, I can actually push this as fast as possible before the other minion wave gets here. This has to shove under tower. Go under tower. He's not letting me shove it. That's really sucks for me, to be honest. I'm gonna have to stay because of that. He's really low though. He lost a lot of HP because of that. He doesn't have Ignite. You got too close to me, buddy. He has Tab Ice right now. He's gonna go for Tab Ice. So fortunately I'm going AP and it's not gonna affect me that much because I'm not relying on my basic attacks. But it's still a lot of armor he's gonna get from that. You have to remember, even though you're going AP as Tryndamere, most of your damage is AD, is physical damage, I mean. So building armor is really effective against him. They have 2 tanks and Wukong, and Wukong's passive gives a lot of armor right now. So I'm gonna have to focus Misfortune and probably Akali in the late game. It's a different style of Tryndamere, because you're not relying that much on your basic attacks. But you have a lot of sustaining, you have a lot of AoE damage. It might seem like I don't do any damage right now, and I don't. This build is not really that good before I get my Gnasher's Tooth. After I get my Gnasher's Tooth, it gets a lot better for me. The good thing is I'm gonna have a lot of sustain with my Q because it has a really wacky scaling. Oh, I thought that was gonna be enough. Especially in the late game, once I get like stacking that AP, my sustain with the Q is gonna be really wacky. It allows me to split push a lot without having to back. Because this champion has no mana too, so that's really good for him. It's not gonna shove. I should have slow pushed the last wave, to be honest. I'm gonna try and push this.
An ally has been slain.
Yeah, now I can go back. The reason you want to push this wave before you go back is so you can't create a freeze there. So most of your damage with AP Tryndamere comes with your E. It has a 0.8 AP scaling, so you want to maximize your cooldown reduction, and that's why we got Cosmic Insight to have that extra 5% cooldown reduction and hit that 45% cooldown reduction mark. We're gonna achieve 20% with Gnasher's Tooth, and we'll achieve the rest later.
Shut down.
Okay, my team's doing work. That's really nice. As I said, before I get my Gnasher's Tooth, I'm really not gonna be able to damage that much this Malphite unless he plays like that. Oh god. That's a good thing about your Q. It actually heals a lot because you're building HP. I mean AP. I'm gonna have to ward here. I warded because I had no vision of the Akali, but now that I do, it's not really the best ward. But just in case they try to make a play on me, because Wukong might have actually not gone back. I'm gonna take this plate and try and go back. As you can see, I actually healed 306 on that heal, and I'm only at 44 AP right now. Now I can get my Gnasher's Tooth. Now I start becoming a champion because of this. And since it does magical damage, I'm gonna start doing some damage to the Malphite and the Wukong.
I am your worst nightmare.
Wukong trying to make a play on bot. They're actually not moving. Okay, it might be a 1 from a. Ooh! I was not paying attention.
Shut down.
Right now I have a lot of sustain, and Malphite's not going to be able to poke me out of lane. I might take some of these trades. They're not the longest trades, just so I can just go back and sustain. Because I'm healing half my HP off 1Q. This is really good for me right now. As you can see, the sustain on this build is actually really wacky. And I'm still doing decent damage. And it's a Malphite, he's going full armor. But the sustain is just too much for him to handle. I'm gonna shove this under tower. If he stays, I might actually be able to dive him. Yeah, he went back. That's a smart decision. Right now, I don't want to use my Q because the way the his Q works is that you get extra AD based on your missing health. So the lower I am, the harder I'm gonna hit this tower right now. Although, since my adaptive damage is magical right now, I'm hitting it off of my AP, so it doesn't really matter, to be honest. I'm just gonna go back. Oh, he's gonna stop my back. That sucks. He's not gonna be able to kill me though. He just lost a lot of minions because of that. And that wave is gonna shove into me. So I can go back with no problem right now. Second item we're gonna go with is Lichbane. It's gonna give us good magical damage. It's gonna give us great burst, and it's also gonna give us 10% more cooldown reduction, which we really do need on this build.
An enemy has been slain. Double kill. Shut down.
We're at 99 to 71 CS, which is kind of decent right now.
Enemy rampage.
I don't know where the Malphite is though. He might be actually making some a play. Oh no, he's here. Look at that heal. That's half my HP. He's not gonna let me grab that last plate, but it doesn't really matter. I'm just gonna poke him out again. Like, he's running out of mana, and I'm still just sustaining up every single damage he does. I'm pressuring him as much as I can. I have Conquer. I don't think he full combo me. I have a lot of health and I still have my Q. He actually needs to leave because he's gonna die. Yeah, you're dead, buddy. I'm sorry. That's a free blue for me. Like, we don't do as much damage as AD Tryndamere. That's a given. But we have that AoE damage, and we have like a lot of sustain. We have a lot of sustain with this build, and it makes people that rely on mana, like champions that rely on mana, it makes them have a harder time to poke you out. Normally, this is a really bad matchup for Tryndamere. Going against a Malphite is a really bad matchup for Tryndamere. But since we're going full AP, he really cannot poke us out. I'll just chip away some of his HP every single trade and then heal back to full. If he wants to kill me, he's gonna have to go for an all-in. Poor Malphite. I'm just gonna go back. I have a lot of gold. Enough for my Lichbane right now. And I'm just gonna sell this and go for Ionian boots. And we already have that 45% cooldown reduction, which is really good on AP Tryndamere. So now I can spin every 5 seconds. Every 4.4 seconds actually. And since my E skills with AP It's spammable 4.4 second AoE damage. So it's really good.
Killing spree. An ally has been slain.
I'm just gonna keep
An
splitting.
enemy has been slain.
I have to place as much pressure as I can, just so this Malphite doesn't go into team fights, because he's a lot better team fighter than I am. If I keep him in the top lane as much as possible, that's really good for me. And now that I actually have my Blitzbane, I'm gonna start doing a lot of damage.
An enemy has been slain. Executed. Rampage.
This build actually makes you healthy the whole time you're splitting. And you can go for all these trades, because at the end of the day, you just back off and heal. And there, the sustain was not as much because I had no fury, but if I get a little bit more fury, it's just gonna heal half of my HP every time. Wukong is actually trying to make a play on me, so I'll just back off. Yeah, he's really aggressive. I actually think I can go for him 1v1, but if the Malphite's there, it's gonna be a little bit harder. He actually might be coming for me right now. I'm gonna heal the full just in case. Yeah, he's there. Your wave clear is actually really decent with this build too, since your E skills with AP. I have a play here. And now I keep pressuring this Malphite. And I have red buff. That's actually really good damage. Holy shit. You saw there that I was able to span my E as much as possible just because of the sheer cooldown reduction I have. And since it does so much damage, it actually gets people off guard, to be honest. And now I'm back to full. This is why this build is so strong. You just keep splitting, and there's if the other person can't all in you, there's nothing they can actually do. Because you'll just alt sustain them, and you'll just pressure as much as possible, and you'll just get all of the enemy farm. Unfortunately, with this build, you don't go for Transcendence, so you don't get any extra adaptive damage off extra cooldown reduction. And heal. This build is so cancer when it works.
Godlike.
I'll just heal back. I can't do anything about this. The healing is just too strong, man. And that's why AP Tryndamere still works. I'll go back. I have enough of my death cap. Oh. Okay. Now with death cap is when his heal really gets out of hand, because with 1 Q he's gonna be able to heal his entire health bar. And if they can't all in me, it's gonna be really, really hard to do something against me. I actually want to get this misfortune.
Killing spree.
Like, I still do damage. Just because I'm AP, it doesn't mean I don't do any damage. I'm still doing really good damage. And once that's all out, I'll just heal back to full. It doesn't really matter. I can just keep pressuring as much as I want because of how AP Tryndamere works. Back to full. And I keep pressuring. I keep going for those side splits. Well, this gets is a mid split, but yeah. You understand, guys. And now the game is pretty much over. Oh, GG, guys. Good game.